Hey y'all, I think this is working. I tried it a few minutes ago and ended up killing that live stream and restarting because I managed to cut the sound off a few minutes in. Anyway, tonight, instead of a planned pre-recorded video, because I didn't go out and shoot one, I thought I'd go live, give you all a chance to join in and ask me whatever thoughts you had, or ask me whatever questions you had about moving to Thailand, living in Thailand, and I'd be able to try and answer them for you. In the meantime, or in case nobody joins, I'm going to be talking about the 7 reasons why I can't go back to America. I'll give it a few minutes for folks to join, and at the end, I'll try and edit this out. But if not, skip ahead until you see the lips moving again. Hey, somebody do me a favor and tell me if you can hear me or not. I'm gonna let this thing run for a couple minutes, and then I'm gonna start to talk about those 7 reasons why I'll never move back to America. Can't go home. Can't go back to the US anyway. Thailand's home now. Hey, John Joe, I take it you can hear me? I had mic issues and killed the first live stream. Awesome, thank you. So a couple people starting to join. If you've got questions about me, questions about life in Thailand, early retirement, finances, go ahead and type those in the chat and I will try to get to those. In the meantime, let me start digging into the reasons why I can't go back to the US. Number 1 on the list is the cost of living. You've heard me say it in many videos. If you've watched more than one of my videos, you've probably heard me talk about the cost of living and how I retired early, almost a year ago now at 57, and sold everything and moved to Thailand. I was done working. I was tired of working. It was one of those, I got up every morning hating life and I needed a change. And there's no way I could retire in the US with the cost of living in America. I was living in Richmond, Virginia, so not the most expensive of places, but compared to many other places, cost of living in the US just makes it unbearable. I would have had to work until you die is, I guess, the theme for American living, because you can't afford not to. In many cases, I'm sure some people can. So the DMV, I'll get to that in just a second. Yeah, so cost of living compared to the US, it's about a tenth of what I was paying back there. I'm in a 2-bedroom house now, and I paid 12,500 baht a month, and that includes all my water. The electricity is additional, but last month's electricity was 300 baht, I think, maybe 10 bucks, 15 bucks the month before. So I don't use a whole lot there. So it's super, super cheap to live here. And that's the only way I could do it right now, since I'm not eligible to withdraw from my 401, obviously not eligible for Social Security yet. I'm living off of savings. And with what I had in savings, I'm able to live for several years. I'm 58 now, so I got another year and a half before I can get to the 401, and then a few more years before I hit Social Security. But I'm living a good life. I'm enjoying it. And for me, if you watch that last video, thriving versus surviving, for me, I'm thriving. But let's get to it. DMV. Land transport, they call it here. It can be quite a hassle. I'm guessing you're asking about for getting your driving license. If you're going to go to the main DMV or land transport office here to get a license in Chonburi, in the Pattaya office, generally you've got to go to make an appointment. and then come back for your actual appointment when you can do your driver's test, get your license, that kind of thing. I used an agent to get mine, and you can look in the playlist of prior videos and you'll see information about the agent. I did an interview with her, talked about obtaining a license. If you go down to Rayong or out to Banglamong, north of Pattaya, Banglamong, up to the big seaport, or if you go down to, I just said it, go down to Rayong, there's a lot less line, and sometimes they can get you in there and out of there same day without making an appointment, or the appointments aren't spread out as far from when you go. I've heard stories of the Pattaya office being a 4-month wait. So you go and make your appointment and you can't come back for 2, 3, 4 months is the next appointment. A lot of times Banglamong, according to my agent, you can get in same week or within a couple of days. And Rayong is a little longer drive, but it's, well, for me, it's not that far, but from Pattaya, it's probably an hour, hour and a half. Sorry. And you can get in and out of there same day in most cases, especially if you're using an agent. Hey, Renee, hello. Where in Thailand? Also, what Thai visa do you have? So I am in Bang Saray. I am in Chonburi province. And Bang Saray is a little fishing village, 25 minutes down Sukhumvit Road from Jomtien. So headed toward Utapao Airport. I'm about 10 minutes from Utapao Airport. I am on a retirement visa right now, but starting to look at maybe the DTV. My retirement visa is up in March or April. So just looking at from a cost perspective, what one makes sense. If I qualify for the DTV, I might switch to that because it's less expensive and it's a 5-year visa. And it's a little bit easier managing the periodic tasks within that. But so anyway, to short answer, retirement visa. The longer answer is that may be changing down the road. We'll see. They've got lots of visa options here, and the DTV is new. It's their equivalent of a digital nomad visa. That's the destination Thailand visa. So something to check into. You can only get it outside of the country. So if it's something, if you're getting ready to move here, or you want to come here, start the new life, it's one worth looking into. You've got several options that you can use to get in and qualify for that. Oh, John Joe, you're in the DMV. Okay. Yes, I was from the DMV. I used to live in Richmond. But yeah, so we covered a lot of information on Land Transport Office here that you weren't asking for, but we'll see. Okay, so Fox, you've got the DT visa. Put in the chat for me, what criteria, how did you qualify? Was it on the, there's education side, there are a couple different options. If you don't mind sharing some of that information, tell us about the qualification and the requirements that you went through for that, because it's, a lot of people are interested. I don't have any firsthand experience yet, but you do. So I'm sure some folks might find that useful. Let's see, John Joe, did I visit Thailand before you moved there, and how many times did you visit? Yeah, if you go back in the playlist of, I don't even know how many videos I've done at this point. I did visit Thailand. When I started the channel, I was on a 2-year plan for retirement. I had 2 years. I was going to retire June of 2025, and I had a top 10 list. I was still trying to figure out where I wanted to live and figured I had 2 years to do that. So I had been to Bali before. I went to Portugal and Malta in February of 23. And then I came here in April of 23 for the first time and immediately fell in love with it. Just really comfortable. Even on it was on the bus ride from Suvarnabhumi Airport down to Pattaya. Just looking around. I'd spent a lot of time previously in Nicaragua, and to me, it had a very similar look and feel to it. So very relaxing for me. Fell in love with it right away. Came back again in September of 23. Things changed at work, and my 2-year plan turned into December 7th last year. I moved here full time. So lots of changes. That's all kind of documented in prior videos, but obviously didn't get into viewing my top 10 And thankfully, Thailand was a hit as soon as I arrived, so I was able to make the move very quickly. I heard that U.S. citizens can own 100% of a Thai company or business. Is there really an exception for U.S. citizens? I can only speak vaguely about that because I don't have a lot of firsthand knowledge. If you go out to Integrity Legal, he's got a YouTube website, lawyer up in Bangkok, an American lawyer here in Thailand. He's done videos on that before, and there are some exceptions for a foreigner, for a U.S. person to own 100% of a business, but it has to be a special kind of business, a special configuration. It's not just any business. Like you'll hear a lot, foreigners cannot own land here in Thailand. You can own a condo, but you can't own a house unless you have a Thai spouse or you have a Thai company. I'm not going to get into Thai companies for the purchases or for the purposes of buying real estate. Technically, I think it's on the fringe of not so legal, but people do it all the time. And in that instance, it's a 51-49 ownership. A foreigner can only own 49% of that business. A Thai person has to own the other 51%. But so there's a little view into businesses. Yes, it's possible for a foreigner to own 100% of a special kind of business here in Thailand, but you're going to need some legal advice for that one, and that ain't me. John used to live in Maryland, but now lives in Florida. It used to be cheap in Florida. How long ago was that? It hasn't been cheap anywhere in a long time, unfortunately. I'm sure there are places, like everywhere, right? Places in Florida that are more affordable than others. So location, location, location. What other questions do you have, folks? 17 of you logging in. Thank you all for joining. It was kind of last minute. I had a couple, I actually had a 6 o'clock meeting tonight with some people who want me to make a real estate video of a house that they just finished building here in Bangsaday. So I didn't get around. I was doing a lot of online communication today. One of y'all actually emailed me, traded messages this morning, and ended up renting a condo, which reminds me, sorry, squirrel. If you watch that most recent video, the sea and sky or sun and sand, I'm sorry, I got the name wrong. The most recent condo video I just did Friday here in Bangsaday. It was 2 condos for purchase. And in that video, I mentioned that they didn't have any rental availability. So I got one of the conversations I had today was with the actual owner of the condo complex. And I now have access to rentals in that building, and one of y'all rented a unit in that building this morning. So studios, 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom available in those condos. If you want to see them, you can go watch that video. It's the newest video out there. Anyway, got off track there. How did I get on that? I don't remember. My train of thought derailed. Remind me what I was talking about. Business exception, we talked about that. Cheap in Florida. Oh, it's Veterans Day. That's right. It's Veterans Day. So a lot of you guys are off. So hanging around and not at work, cheating on your employer right now by being on YouTube. Patricio, how does my medical insurance work? Thanks for joining and thanks for the question. I have private medical insurance here. Most of the visas, medical insurance is optional. If you're coming, I definitely recommend travel insurance because it covers so much. It actually covers the travel. It covers, a lot of other countries' health insurances. U.S. health insurances won't cover you when you're traveling abroad, so that's always a good option. But here I have insurance through Pacific Cross. There are a number of providers here in Thailand. Shop around because just like everywhere else, prices can vary between the different insurance companies. And of course, rates always vary on things like your age, pre-existing conditions, health conditions, that kind of stuff. So Pacific Cross is who I have here. Check them out. All right, while you guys are thinking of some more questions and maybe some more people join, I'm open for questions. Just type it in the chat and we'll see if we can get them answered. Moving back to the list of 7 reasons why I can't go back to the US. Number 2 on the list, and I've got it in all caps in my notes, quality of life. We started with cost of living and it being obviously so much less expensive here than it is in the US and many places in the West. The quality of life that I can live here on a much lower budget is just leaps and bounds beyond what you would be able to in many places in the West. I'll keep saying the US, but like I mentioned early on, I've done some scouting around. I've done a bunch of travel in my time. So, and I've actually done a series of shorts comparing cost of living in Thailand to many other places in the world. If you want to go into the playlist that says shorts, you can skim through those really quickly there if you want to take a look at that. But just those two go together so closely, right? Cost of living and quality of life. Part of the reason I'm sure why I'm enjoying life so much more now is I'm not working, right? I'm not dealing with the hassles of work. I'm not dealing with going to a job with so much uncertainty, so much negativity day in and day out. So that factors into it a lot. But I mean, to have a 2-bedroom house here, 6 units in the development, and we share a pool. It's really just me and one other person now. It used to be me, but got a new neighbor, and we hang out at the pool quite frequently now. So it's getting crowded over there. The pool population has doubled in the last couple of weeks to 2, sometimes 3 if his girlfriend joins us. But yeah, the quality of life here. You know, I'm in a beach town, quiet little fishing village. It's just so much less stressful. I mentioned in a video recently I had gone back to Portugal to take a little trip there. And when I was on the train going from Lisbon out to Cascais for a day of just shooting video and hanging out and seeing another part of Portugal, I was looking around and noticed that nobody was smiling, right? I was thinking back to starting to miss Thailand, and I was thinking back to here. And everywhere you go, if someone waits on you, if someone brings you coffee, if someone's checking you out at CJ or Big C or wherever, just pass them on the street. You know, they call Thailand the land of smiles because everybody here is just so casual and happy and welcoming. And it's nothing like most of the West, certainly nothing like, you know, walking down the street in the US and you barely get the nod off to somebody. You might get a grunt, you know, you might get stabbed. It's hard to tell, but the quality of life here is nothing like I could have had, nothing like I had at home, and certainly nothing like I could have at home on current budget and not working. Sorry, guys. Rainy season is ending and already the pollution count is going up. So apologize. I'll try not to cough into the mic. How much is my premium? I'm going back to the insurance question. Honestly, and I'm not dodging it, I don't remember. You pay a year in advance here. It's not like you pay every month at home. And I don't remember. I know that as you go, right? So it was my initial one. And I hadn't done a health screening for like cholesterol and that kind of stuff recently. So I really didn't get too many discounts other than I put a deductible on it. But again, the prices will vary based on you, right? If you're not my height, my weight, my age, if we don't have the same medical history, your prices are going to be different. So best thing to do is just find an agency, ask for a quote. A lot of them will just quote you online and then see what you can do about other deductions and things, right? So a big option here is whether the policy is going to cover outpatient visits. You can opt that it doesn't and it's inpatient only. So there are a lot of variables that you can figure into tailoring the policy here to suit your needs and your health condition. So again, not trying to duck it. I did a budget video recently and I averaged it out monthly in there. So when you jump off of the live stream, stick around though. Go back in the playlist and look where I was talking about budget recently, and you'll see in my spreadsheet what I paid for it. It's 100 and something a month, I think I pay if you average it out monthly. But again, you paid it all up front. And that's coming due again for me in January. So maybe I'll do an update then on policy and coverage and costs. Hey, Rusty the Legend, hello. How much money do you make on YouTube? Can you make a living from it? I've been actually, I've been monetized for a few months now, and I've been meaning to do a video about being monetized on YouTube. I think in that video I was just talking about budget. I may not have detailed income too much in that one, but that one or the one prior, I talked a little bit about YouTube income. And it varies widely, right? So let me talk about monetization from the ads, right? So ads play during the videos, and depending on the length of the video, that determines the number of ads that will be presented. And you make revenue off of that. So it's a couple dollars per 1,000 views. So it really doesn't come up to a whole lot. If you're oops, sorry, I keep shaking the table. Sorry, guys. If you're pumping out the videos, like for the last couple months, I've been doing 2 a week, lifestyle kind of vlogs on Monday, real estate's on Fridays. And I'll probably come back to it to talk more about it, but I'm starting to get kind of burnt out. And if you'll notice, the real estate video I just did is the first one in several weeks. So if you're not doing videos, you're not making as much money, because obviously the video that first week or 2 weeks after it comes out, that's when it's going to generate the most ad revenue. And then people are going to watch the most recent ones. But I'm still making ad revenue when someone new joins. They'll go through and watch some of the older videos in the playlists, and you'll make a couple bucks off of that. I just crossed 7,000 subscribers. Thank you all. 7,000 subscribers. I don't even remember what my original goal was for this year, but the last one I had was 5,000, and we've blown way past that. I think a couple months ago, I had maybe $300 I made off of YouTube. I think last month, like I said, I'd cut down on videos, so it was right around 150. And I looked this morning when someone else was asking me the question by message. I think like in November, well, today's the 11th, right? It's the night of the 11th for me, and I think I'm somewhere around $40 or $50 for the month. So can you make a living off of it? Yeah, and people do, right? Especially when the cost of living where they are is low, like here. If I make $300 a month, that's paying my rent. So it's a big chunk out of my monthly budget, which is less than $1,000. Or let me say it differently, not my monthly budget so much as my monthly fixed expenditures. So $100, $200, $300 goes a long way here. So depending on where you are and what your lifestyle's like, yeah, you can make a living off of it. You may have to grind. Some of these guys are putting videos out every day because they have to. I don't have to. It's a hobby for me. So like today, I didn't have a video ready. I got a bunch of stuff I need to edit. But if I don't feel like doing it, there's no pressure on me because it's not my livelihood. Patricio again, how do I get around? Well, in Bangsaday, there's not a lot of public transportation like you have if you're up in the bigger towns, right? There's certainly no BTS like you have in Bangkok. There's no major bus line running through town, that kind of stuff, because it's a tiny town. It really only has one main street going through it, and then the residential branches off of that, and then the beach road, which is still the main street. It just goes down and makes an L. So I bought a motorbike early on. The renting one monthly is nice. It's cheap. It's convenient, especially if you're not sure what kind you want to get. Try a couple different ones. But I bought a brand new Click 125 Honda, and it was $1,600. I don't remember, like 48,000 baht. So you can convert that at home. I could have bought one a year or two used, but it would have only saved a couple $100. So I thought, why buy somebody else's potential problem? I'll just get new. It's under warranty. Buying it new, it came with the tags, the registration, and it also came with 1 year of insurance, all included in the $1,600 price. So I ride the bike a lot. I ride the motorbike a lot. It's 25, 30 minutes, depending on what part of Jomtien or Pattaya I want to go to. Like I said, it's 10 minutes down the road to Utapao Airport. Satahip and Rayong's not that far. It's a nice ride. And walking. Honestly, though, I used to walk a lot more when I was living in Jomtien because you so many places to walk to, walk the beach, walk Beach Road, restaurants, a couple different night markets. And I was walking, 12, 15,000 steps a day. I've gotten a little lazy down here because I don't live near that main road through town. I actually live over next to the Navy base, big Navy base inside the hip. So the Naval Recruit Training Center is right next door. And when they're running PT, running information and stuff, I can hear them calling their cadences. It's that close. So walking and motorbike. But your options vary greatly depending on where you live. Do you think Vietnam may become a better option for retirement 10 years later? They say it's cheap, but also boring. A lot of people would say my life here in Thailand is boring, and depending on where you live, it can be, if that's what you like. And that's the way I like mine. I like it quiet. I like it boring. I don't know about, could it be better 10 years from now? Everything I've heard is that it's kind of up and coming. I've heard that their visas might be a little bit more expat friendly, long-term, cheaper. I don't know. It's definitely on the up and up. It's been on my list of places I want to go to. It's probably where I want to go to next. I've been looking at a trip to Da Nang and Hoi An. So probably mispronouncing it, but anyway, they're within an hour and a half or so of each other, and they've got some things I want to see, want to make some videos, want to take some pictures. I'll look into it more when I'm over there, but right now I can't say for sure. It's definitely on my radar of places to go, and it was anywhere in Southeast Asia is going to be fairly similar, but check it out, travel around, make your own decision. All right, Rusty, beer is on you when you arrive. It's recorded now. It's on a video, so everybody can see that. If you show up and we don't connect, then it's coming back on you. Fox, sorry you're on a tablet. Painful. Yeah, painful to type, I know. Luckily, I'm on the laptop, but I have my phone for notes too. You're on the 5-year DTV. Okay, applied in Australia. Yeah, you have to apply out of the country. A lot of people now are kind of in the country and they're making a border run for 2 or 3 days and then finishing it out of the country, getting it and coming back in, I hear. But yeah, technically got to be out of the country to do that. Wanted to work remotely, supplied a letter of employment and showed you had savings, and then 13,500 baht fee. Yeah, if you've got, if you can show outside employment, the income requirements are pretty low. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 2,000 a month, the equivalent of 2,000 US dollars. Go online, check it out for sure for all of the requirements. But that's one of the things that makes it so attractive is it's not hard to qualify for, and it's super cheap for 5 years. And it's multiple entry, so come and go as you please. 5 years, 180 days at a time. But if you go out and come back, you just start your 180-day clock again. If you're looking for a really good video answering questions about that visa, go to Retired Working for You. He did an awesome interview with actually the government official in the department who came up with the concept to clarify a lot of the strange questions that were coming up when they had announced the visa with not a lot of information around it. So go check out his channel and search for the DTV video that he did a few months back. Yeah, Tommy, talking about making sure you guys know if it's near bot bus routes. So obviously that applies if it's a video of someplace in town. I'll try to remember, it's hard to, it's just hard to remember all of the things that people like to hear or like to know about in these videos. And the tough part about that is that many of the times things someone wants to hear, someone else will want to hear differently. And a good example of that was if you watch old condo videos, I will tell you how many Thai baht it was, and on the screen I would convert to different currencies. And I've stopped doing that. I try to speak only in baht. And the reason is you can't spend any of those currencies here in town. You're going to spend baht only. And if I put those things on the screen, by the time I put them on, tomorrow the exchange rates are different. So they're all out of whack and wrong. And people would complain that, oh, you said it was this and now it's that. So it's kind of a hit or miss, right? That whole, you can please some of the people some of the time thing. Yeah, a good option too is I always give you the name of the condo and tell you kind of generally where I am. People have asked for, oh, you should put a pin for the map. You should put the map location in the video. Again, I'm doing it for fun. I'm not selling real estate. I don't want this to be a real estate channel. I've said that many times, and that's part of the reason why I've backed off of doing so many videos. They account for many of my subscribers and a lot of my watch time, and it's not that I'm not appreciative of folks watching those videos and generating that ad revenue, but quite honestly, sometimes it's not worth the hassle. It's not worth the negative comments and having to filter those. There was a point a few months back where I actually cut comments off because I just got tired of it. Folks complaining, do this, not that. I had people telling me, don't show your face when you're talking on the video. We don't want to see you. So, I mean, seriously, is it that bad? Don't put that in the comments. So I try. If I'm in Pattaya, Jomtien, right? So generally, once you get used to the area, if you're on a bus route, Pratumnak doesn't have them. If I'm on Beach Road in Jomtien, you've got bus. If you're on anywhere second road, you've got it. Sukhumvit has it. So I'll try and do a better job of making sure you guys know what's around. But hey, if I forget, ask in the comments, and I'll be happy to tell you whether it's on the bus route or not. Carlos asking, when he retires, can he just get a one-way airfare? There's a lot of I don't know the actual immigration requirement, right? The airlines, when you check in to come over, will sometimes ask you if you have a return ticket. The last time I came through immigration on my way back from Portugal was the first time an immigration officer in Thailand has ever spoken to me. Normally, it's just hand the passport through the window, you do your fingerprint scans, they stamp, and you go. And now it's getting more electronic, so there's even less of that. I've never been asked for, when I came here visiting, I was never asked for a return ticket except for one time when I was checking in Raleigh-Durham Airport. The gate agent asked, and I had bought one of those. I'd gone out on, I think it's Onward Ticket or onwardjourney.com, $14, $16, and it's a booking for 2 days. So you can say, yeah, I've got one. But I've never been asked by immigration. I don't know if there is technically a requirement. I knew to have an Onward ticket just in case I got asked. But I also told the lady at the counter that I was coming to retire here, and she didn't ask to see the Onward ticket when I told her that I was going to be moving here permanently. Nice. American Thai Chad wants to be a durian farmer. Man, if y'all don't know, that durian is something else. It's expensive. Most Thai people love it. There's a video of me doing a taste test. One of the first things I did with Koi when we went to one of the malls. She loves durian. Oh man, I had tried it in Bali, and I can't get past the smell of decomposing body when you open them up, or even when they're just sitting out on the counter. I didn't like it in Bali, but she swore that Thailand durian were much better. Yeah, to me they're not. So I hope the durian farm works out for you. I know it can be super profitable, but I can't help you there. Maybe I'll get one for her. American Thai chat. I like your style. Boring. I've never been to a bar in Thailand. Was I just talking about this the other day on the video or something? Or I don't remember. I was just talking about it with someone. I think I've been to one, maybe two. So the first time I met Koi was during Songkran, and we wanted to chit chat. We wanted to go out and spray people with water. And if you go to the bars, they have big barrels of water and squirt guns and hoses. They've got all the supplies. If you just go there and eat or drink. So when we were meeting up for the first time, we went to a bar and had a drink at the counter and sprayed a bunch of people. But yeah, I don't go hang out in bars. I've talked a couple of times, and I might have been talking about it earlier here tonight about the negativity that I tried to get away from the West and the quality of life here. I have found a lot of times, just from past experience, people in bars, and I'm not all people, obviously, but a lot of times if folks are drinking too much, they're not happy people, even worse than when they're sober. And I just don't have a desire to be around that negativity, let alone inebriated negativity. So yeah, I'm boring. I don't hang out in bars. I've got a neighbor that owns a bar. I probably should go by and check it out and say hello and just support that. But I'm usually asleep by 10 o'clock. So I don't know. Thank you, Scott, for the compliment. Ford Dog, good evening from West Virginia. Oh, man. Where in West Virginia? I was actually born and raised there. Do I have any times to convert on bot? I'm holding out for 37. Yeah, 37 could be a long way off, right? So usually right now we're coming, based on the charting, we're coming into a good time. But a couple things have come into play. The bot got very strong when we had the most recent PM change. The prime minister changed, and the economy in Thailand has gotten very strong to the point where they've actually been talking about intentionally devaluing, and the government taking steps to reduce the value of the bot because it's making the cost of international business go up. And it's having a negative impact on the economy that way. The other thing that came into play was elections and things in the U.S. And the dollar has actually now strengthened a little bit. So it's better than it has been lately, but we're still upper 33s, low 34s. I'd love to see 37 come back because I will convert a bunch of money at 37. I've been making small transfers as I need them. Because right now it's expensive, and you're still on a topic that it's getting expensive to live in Thailand. That was going to be an upcoming video. I'll probably still do it. Coming out next summer, May through July. I can't get a quote on Google Flights for 60 days returns. I don't know. Usually if you're within a year, you can try out booking on the sites or try checking prices directly on some of the websites, or try a different website like seats.aero or something, or the airlines directly to see if you can get return pricing. I don't know what's going on. I use Google Flights all the time too. Thai Chad still trying to convince me about durian. Took a couple years to get past the smell. Yeah, I'm not there yet. I am to the point where I can walk by them in the market and not gag, but I mean, you can smell a durian from a ways off. Did I miss anybody? I wanted to back up for a second and look at the comments. If you've got questions, pump them in there. The third reason why I can never go back to the U.S., jumping all the way back to the videos I first started making when I was planning my criteria. I laid out all of my criteria for places I would consider retiring to. one of the very top criteria was weather. I hate the cold. I can't stand it. I'm going home in a couple weeks, and I'm going to spend Christmas with my kids. I don't have a jacket. I have one sweatshirt to my name. I know I'm going to freeze to death, but that criteria in moving was it has to be warm all the time. And that was the criteria that helped me rule out Portugal and Malta. I visited both of those places in February, their coldest season, just to see what it was like. They would be great places to go to in the summer. Like if you were going to do a half and half, maybe, Portugal part of the year and their nice season. But I couldn't do it year round, and I was looking for a year round place to live. So I absolutely love the weather here. We just started winter. Rainy season is ending. The last 3 days have been just gorgeous. 31, 33 degrees Celsius for a high. And then overnight, dropping down into the mid 20s, like 26s. Humidity is gone. But like I mentioned earlier, with the rain stopping, the air pollution is coming back. You might hear it, and I'm coughing a little bit. That's all that is. So yeah, weather back at home, I would have to be like you guys living in Florida or something. And like number one, cost of living. I can't afford to live in Florida. So number 3 on the list is the weather here is phenomenal, and I absolutely love it here. It's fantastic. Even in rainy season, it was comfortable. It was neat to have it rain so hard and then go away so quick. But let's see what we got. Four Dog is in Charleston. I went to school at West Virginia Tech back when it was West Virginia Tech. I have an accounting degree for there. I grew up in Parkersburg, ran track for PHS. Yeah, come on over, check it out. See if you like it or not. Stay a while. Biscuits and gravy. We do. Actually, you will see a couple of shorts, and you'll see on the podcast playlist. I did a podcast interview with a fella, Brandon, who owns Culture Cafe. He's an American vet who moved here to Thailand and has opened a cafe and now a restaurant up near Riviera Jom Tien. And he has a lot of Southern comfort food in there, like chicken and waffles. He's got great American breakfast. They make their own sausage there. And he does biscuits and gravy. So if you're in Pattaya Jom Tien area and you want some good breakfast or some biscuits and gravy, there's a plug. Check out Culture Cafe. Brandon, you're welcome. All right. Hey, y'all, to everybody who's been joining. It looks like we're up and down a little bit, sitting at 22 right now. Hey, did you guys know I have an Instagram channel and a TikTok that goes with this? Neither of them have a lot of followers or subscribers, and quite honestly, I haven't been doing a bunch with them, but I've been starting to work on both of them. So if you're on either of those platforms, you might see something like a short here popping up on the videos. The Instagram I use more for photography stuff. So as I'm traveling around, the more scenic shots that I'm taking, you might see those pop up over there. But if you're on those platforms and you'd like to go give a follow, I'd appreciate that and help me grow those sides over that way. Yeah, Four Dog went to WVU with an accounting degree. Accounting degree I never really used. First job out of tech, I was a stockbroker. And then I went into law enforcement, got into U.S. Customs down on the Texas-Mexico border. And that's what got me into fraud and financial crimes. So you applied the accounting and forensic accounting, that kind of stuff, to my next and final career too. So law enforcement, I specialized white collar crimes, money laundering, financial transaction analysis, that kind of thing. And then in banking with suspicious activity reporting, financial crimes investigations, customer due diligence, that kind of stuff. So it was a great foundation, but was never an accountant. Well, I was a special agent accountant with Virginia State Police in BCI there, but that was white collar crimes detective. That's the only time I've carried the title accountant. Scott, great question. And again, you have stolen an idea for a video, or maybe just solidified the idea that I need to do it. Any thoughts on meeting quality women, not in bars, but doing normal things, walking in the mall, being at a coffee shop, saying hello in a supermarket, like we used to do before dating apps? Yeah, so dating the old-fashioned way. Sorry, guys, I keep bumping the table. Hopefully the stabilization. I'm using the Osmo 3 as a webcam, and hopefully it's working out pretty good. I like how it looks on the laptop, but it's kind of different to look from the camera to the laptop. And again, squirrel, it's late. I'm usually asleep by now. But I'll keep going because you guys are still asking questions, and we're not through the list of 7, coming out better than I expected. So thoughts on meeting quality women, not in bars, but doing normal things. Yeah, let's dive into the topic of women in Thailand. First and foremost, if you hear or you have the perception that Thai women are only after your money, they all work in bars, and anything along those lines, one, you won't see those comments on the channel. Don't make them, because that's going to get you instantly blocked. I just don't tolerate that. The Thai people are fantastic. Thai women are fantastic. I've mentioned Koi a couple times in this video and in some other videos, and you may see, well, actually, I think she's been fully disclosed in one where I showed her, but you would see her in the background of some others. You can meet fantastic, hardworking Thai women here in Thailand. I've heard other YouTubers say, just go to the mall and sit on a bench, and within a couple minutes, people are going to come up to you. I've never gone, and like, to me, it would be kind of creepy to go and sit on a bench in a mall, right? And look for women. I didn't have to do that when I came here. I'll talk in a minute, maybe a little bit more about how she and I met. But yes, there are quality women everywhere in Thailand. And it's not to say that the girls or the ladies working in the bars aren't quality, just a different set of circumstances, right? I say many times, if you go looking for trouble, it ain't hard to find. And it's easy to find trouble in a bar. But yeah, I've heard many people talk about, meeting nurses, meeting teachers, same as meeting people anywhere. Say hello. I will say that when you're people more our age are a little more hesitant to talk and be a little more open to talking because they're shy about their English capabilities. Not that they don't want to talk to you. Thai people, generally speaking, are a very shy kind of culture. They don't want to look bad, and they're a little afraid to talk to you. But the younger folks, they're learning English in school. It's mandatory, so they're much more comfortable talking. But yeah, if you put yourself out there, if you take a shot, you're going to land a good one. You just have to be out there, put yourself out there. Take a look at Jason over on Good Vibes Pattaya and his girlfriend Sue. They are really hitting it off, and they met at the motorcycle dealership where he bought his motorbike. I think he told the story on his channel. Go check that out. I'm plugging everybody's channels tonight. So yeah, I'm a consumer of YouTube. I'm certainly not the only channel out there. I like watching it too. Y'all should be watching some of them just to get some more rounded information. Great women are everywhere, and you can find them if that's what you're looking for. Thai Cupid worked for me. Not familiar with that one. 10-year anniversary on the 14th. Hey, congratulations. Tinder works here. Thai Friendly is very popular. I haven't heard of Thai Cupid. Just be aware that if you go on the apps, you're going to find a lot of the women who are working. So, I mean, you just have to filter through it. It's like anywhere else, right? The good ones are mixed in with less than good ones, or anyway. Use good judgment, make good decisions. Don't do it when you're drunk. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Sue looks great, and I know they And one of his, and I haven't, oh, sorry, Jason, not that he's watching, but I haven't been keeping up with all the channels as much. I've just been running around, and I've gotten busy going back to language school and that kind of stuff. I'm making excuses, but I know they at one point had rented a house. I thought they said on the dark side, but I see her all the time when I'm taking my clothes to the laundry. I don't know if they're using the same laundry or there's some other connection there, but I think 3 times out of the last 4 times I've dropped off laundry, she's been there at the same time in her little themed shirt or branded shirt that they wear. So I don't know if they're down in Bangladesh or maybe they're closer down this way, Najamtian, Huayai, that kind of area. But yeah, they look like they're getting along great. They're having a lot of fun, and they're making great videos together. I really like those. Like to see Chiang Mai if you're coming for 3 weeks. Great idea. And, you know, one of the things that I like about being here is that once you're here, getting here is the only difficult and expensive part. Once you're here, getting around, super inexpensive. Like you can find flights to Chiang Mai sometimes for $15. You know, 500 baht up to, 1,500 baht. It just depends on the timing. But yeah, flights are cheap right now. I liked Chiang Mai. I've got some Chiang Mai videos. You guys didn't like the Chiang Mai videos too much, but there was a great sunrise temple tour. I highly recommend. And if you're interested in going to Chiang Mai, I want to look into some things to do up there, take a look at that video. All right. Well, I just touched on number 4 on the list. I was going to say, let's get back into the list of 7 reasons why I'll never go back to the U.S. Number 4 on my list is travel here. I was just talking about how cheap it is to fly. Just took a trip down to Krabi a couple weekends ago, maybe 2 weekends ago, 3 weekends ago now. And it was less than $100 round trip to fly down, fly back. The room in the hotel, I think, was like $22, and it was off-season pricing, normally $35 for the room. Did a private longtail boat tour, and for the day, I want to say that was 6,000 baht, and again, that was off-season pricing, half-day tour. We had a lot of rain, a lot of rough water, so didn't get the footage that I wanted, but there's still some good drone shots in that video and a little bit of talking down there, so you guys can check out. I've been to Krabi before when I was here the first time, so a couple Krabi videos out there if you're interested in Ao Nang, and a couple of island trips. But travel here, one of the reasons I really, one of the things I really liked about Thailand, and one of the reasons why I chose it over like the Philippines, is the ease of travel here. We've got major airports very close to me. Like I said, Utapao is 10 minutes. Bangkok, I can be in 2 hours. You can get so many places, whether it's, domestically or internationally. Once you're here, Bali's just a couple hours away. Singapore's a couple hours away. Hong Kong's a few hours, and they're all direct flights, 3-4 hours to China. And most of the time, I can get to Japan for under $300 round trip. I can get to Singapore for about $100. So, Vietnam's under $100 most of the time, just because I've been pricing trips. The ease and the low cost of travel once you're here is an amazing benefit or bonus to living in Thailand. And Bangkok is a huge, huge hub for travel. It's one of the most, I guess you could say arguably the most visited city in the world. I think it goes between first and second. Don't quote me on that, but some recent stuff I saw coming out was that it was back to number 1. So great for Thailand, but it also means a lot of flights in and out of there. And Thai Airways is improving their schedule. I just saw something the other day that a lot of airlines are adding flights in and out of Bangkok, because of the growing tourism. Everything's coming back to normal. Scott, thanks again for the compliment. I definitely appreciate it. After watching the video for the bus to Jomtien, you literally took me through step by step. Feel totally comfortable now. That's great. And that has the bus from Savunaphum here down to Jomtien And then another one I did that's very similar on like some tips and tricks of Savonapum Airport. Some of my top videos as far as number of people who have watched them. I think the tips of Savonapum's over like 20,000 views. I don't know. But hopefully everyone or many people agree that it's been useful. I've done 3. So I did Savonapum tips, I did taking the bus, and then I did another one recently about the place with the sleeping cubes on the other side by the parking deck. So yeah, those videos seem to do good. And I did a bus trip to Hua Hin and train back. So again, travel around here, so many ways to get around: planes, trains, and automobiles. It's a lot of fun to get around Thailand. Thanks, Rusty. I'm not a great pilot. So he's talking about drone videos. I love to fly, and if you're talking about the Krabi video, catching that drone on the boat was fun. So it was definitely a challenge. I was glad that I had some good skies and was able to get up. I do like to fly it, and I use a lot of that drone footage for stock video. So I'll clip that up into stock video clips and upload them for sale. And that's part of the passive income streams that I've talked about in some other videos. And I need to do an update on how those are doing. But yeah, I multi-purpose as much as I can in these videos. So videos that, like, well, maybe not this one, but when I'm showing scenery, when I'm out vlogging, when I'm flying the drone, I turn all that into another stream of income. So glad you're enjoying those, but they can make a little money on the side too. And flying a drone legally here in Thailand is very easy. You have to make registration at 2 agencies. You have to be insured. There's one link you can go to, and they'll do both your registrations and give you your insurance. I just got a reminder from them the other day that my insurance is up next month. And once you have that, you're good to go. You just some basic guidelines, right? The altitude limitations, and of course all the geofencing for the bases and airports and things. You know, that's all in place here. Easy to fly a drone if you like flying them. If you want to learn how to fly them, there's a link in the description for the DJI drones. And the new Neo that came out is super cheap. Got the guarded propellers, very small. I need to look into that, but that looks like a great starter drone. I have to check that out. You save the videos on your phone in case you get lost. Don't worry about it. It's easy to get around here, and just ask somebody. People are the people, the Thai people are amazing. If you're in trouble, if you look like you got a question, chances are somebody's going to check on you. I love it here. I love the Thai people. They are fantastic. What other questions you guys got? It's working out good because the questions you're asking tie back to my list. You think of something else you want to know? Maybe you got video topics that you'd like to see me dive into more, or an area of town or something. Pop those in the comments. And if you're thinking about asking a question, go, I don't want to ask that. Somebody else probably thinking it too. So be the leader, jump in there, type the question. Number 5, 7 reasons why I won't move back to the US. I'm living my dream in paradise. You know, for a long time, I've thought about living abroad. I've loved traveling all my life. Both of my kids they love to travel. They're traveling on their own. They're 21 and 17. They just want to trip on their own to Canada. They're going on a cruise by themselves in March. They love to travel. My oldest is coming here in January, going to stay about 6 weeks with me. We're going to do some traveling here. It's absolutely a dream to be here and to do whatever I want, whenever I want. No pressure, and to just love life. Drive down the road looking for something to eat and go, oh, this place, I haven't tried that. I'll just pull in there. And you meet new people, you talk to people, you learn new things. Heck, half the time I don't know what I'm eating. I'll tell them, you pick, and then they teach me what it is, tell me what it is. I generally forget before I'm done eating what it's called, but I'll take a picture of it, and it's fun for me. It's such an improvement over the way things were for me in the past, and living in Virginia. It's great. Why would I leave paradise in a place that just makes me so happy? It ain't happening. Do a compilation of best drone shots you've done. Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, just throw them all together and all the different places that I've flown. I can do that. That's a good idea. Thank you. Scott, I have a motorcycle license in the States. Can I rent a scooter when I come this summer? Do I need a local license and insurance? Excellent question. You do need an international driving permit or a Thai driving license here. So even though you have a motorcycle license or a motorcycle endorsement on your US license, that does not allow you to drive here in Thailand internationally. Go to AAA, it's $20. 2 passport pictures, they can take them for you while you're there, and they'll give you an international driving permit good for a year. Bring that. If you get stopped, no problem. Your rental should come with insurance. Be careful. Your insurance at home, your health insurance, your life insurance may not cover you riding a motorbike in another country, as well as if you get travel insurance. I recommend and still use SafetyWing when I travel, and they do cover you. Check the current coverage in countries and that kind of stuff. Make sure that's still the case. But definitely watch out if you're planning on using your coverage from home to cover you when you travel abroad. It may or may not, and it may not under certain circumstances. So, but if you rent here, that generally comes, insurance is included with your rental. You do need an IDP, or you need a Thai driver's license to drive legally here. And, a lot of people talk about Thai police stopping only foreigners. I can't say that's not true. I can say you see them stop a lot of foreigners, but I see them stop a lot of Thai people too. There are a couple places where they always have checkpoints, right? Coming out of Pattaya to come down here. If you come down Sattahip, big 3 lanes each direction highway, just as you come past the Pattaya floating market, there's an overpass, an exit ramp, and there's a little police station there. So they always set up. If the weather's nice in the mornings, you can bet there's a checkpoint there. And I've been checked so many times, the guys are kind of starting to give me the nod, because they're going to ask, do you have a driver's license? Do you have a permit? And you better have a helmet on. But they're stopping everybody. They're stopping every car, and they're stopping every motorbike. And they're looking for things like helmets, registration, and licenses. I've got my helmet on so they can see I'm covered there. By the time I can pop the screen up, they're asking, do you have a license? As soon as they've seen my license, and they can see the registration sticker and everything's displayed on the back tag anyway, they're like, yeah, go. You won't have a problem, right? It's like everywhere else. If you don't break the law, you won't have a problem. The stops take about 30 seconds. Same thing if you're riding Pattaya Beach Road. The main police station is right there by Central Festival Mall. And they're always out on the street just flagging people over. If you're out riding, making yourself a target, if you don't have a helmet on, you get stopped. It's on you. You got to wear a helmet here. That's the law. You got to have a license. So follow the rules, and that goes well with anything in life. Follow the rules and you won't have problems. Dog, I want to get my eSIM here and just activate when I touch down. I was searching AIS website here to see if I could purchase, but keep asking for a Thai number. Any suggestions? Yeah, perfect questions. Drop down in the description of any one of my videos and you'll see a link there. I think it's one of the top ones for eSIMs through a company called AirAlo or AirAlo. You can download, I think they're offering True, which is the service I use here. as their eSIM here. It's no more expensive than you're going to get here on a tourist SIM card. You can download that no matter where you're going. Like I was just in Portugal. If you wanted to download an eSIM for Portugal. If you want to go to Japan, you can download one for there. But you can download your Thai SIM card, get a Thai phone number online through AirAlo, and the link is in the description. And yes, it's an affiliate link. So if you click that and you subscribe, I do get a little commission from them. I'm reading. Sorry, guys. Spent October in Thailand as a first timer. My wife and 2 toddlers love this so much. Living in Canada is extremely difficult nowadays. Hope when my kids grow up, we can move to Thailand. What are you waiting for? They don't have to grow up in Canada. And I'm not, I mean, I'm trying to be a little edgy, but I don't mean it ugly, certainly. It's a great question. But a lot of people are starting to move and take their kids abroad and expose them to more cultures and different ways of living. It gives them, a more, obviously a global perspective, right? If you travel around the world, they're going to see more. And, I can certainly speak to how things are in the U.S. and how, sadly, too many people are in the U.S. And that's all they see. All they know is what they're indoctrinated to, what they're taught in school, what the world around them tells them about this is how it is and this is how the world is. And that's where they get so many misconceptions. So many people have misconceptions about Thailand and what it's really like and how modern it really is. And it's just because people have never gone and tried. If you've got them traveling and exploring, we have international schools here, people homeschool. I don't know, something to think about if you can work remote. But if you have to wait, hey, you have to wait, right? Just travel with them, show them new places, teach them new things, and so that they know that the world's much bigger than Canada or wherever any of y'all are from. You don't have to stay there. Get out, go travel yourselves, learn more about the world, because a lot of what we hear when we're at home in our comfortable little spaces, it's just not accurate. It's not the real world. Sig says, do you meet and hang out with other expats, or do you mostly keep to yourself? Yes. I will say, and I think I said it in a different video when I was talking about starting the YouTube channel, one of the big, I'm a huge introvert. I am not a social person. If I go out socially, my body has a built-in 2-hour time limit, and at 2 hours, I'm ready to go. I've always been that way. I've never been one to have a big social circle, have a bunch of friends. I just don't need that. I like quiet. I like solitude, but that can be dangerous. And I've talked about boredom being dangerous before. Loneliness is a huge problem, and it became an even bigger problem during the pandemic when so many people couldn't be around others. It's important to have a social circle and just be able to get out. One of the things, this is where I started with YouTube, is that people have recognized me from the channel. I've told the story a couple times. You see Wayne in some of the early real estate videos, and he just came back from a few months in Canada. So I've met up with him since he's been back. You'll see him again. But on my second day here, it was off to kind of a rough start. And I was sitting on the curb using the Wi-Fi for the restaurant behind me. I don't know, it was 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm head down on my phone, and I hear Michael. I'm like, who the heck knows? Who's calling my name in Thailand? Nobody here knows me. And it was Wayne. He had been watching my channel as I was ramping up to come over, and recognized me while he was riding his bike down the street. I've had several people when I was living at Eris recognize me waiting for an elevator, recognize me on the street, and I keep up with all those folks. Or most of them. I've met people who, when I've done videos, hey, I'm coming to Thailand, I want to find a condo, and I've gone and made videos with them. We still text. Most of us keep in touch, or most of those people I keep in touch with a little bit. So it's been a great way for me to meet people. I talked a couple of minutes ago. I'm not out hanging out in bars. I'm not meeting people that way. I've met a couple of the neighbors here, 6 houses. It's all foreigners in here. But yeah, I mean, I have a small circle. It's important to have. I will say that, fair warning, you're not going to keep up with people from home. Well, maybe the other way around. They're not going to keep up with you, right? It's a whole out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. You've got to build a support group. You've got to build relationships here, whether it's with Thai people or foreigners. Both is definitely what I would recommend. You're going to learn more about the culture. You're going to learn more language by hanging out with Thai people. You're going to learn more about local foods, best places to eat. You'll learn more from them, but it's also nice sometimes, like when I go to the pool, and now we've got a new neighbor that's hanging out there more. It's nice to be able to sit and talk a little bit. I kind of miss the socialization that I had in Jomtien when I was in the condo, because I would bump into people more often. It's a little more remote down here, but it's quieter and it's cheaper, and I really like it. So build a group of friends. It's easy enough to do. There are ways to do it, but just be careful of those Facebook groups, because I'm telling you, there's nothing more toxic in this world than an expat Facebook group. Man, let's see. Thank you. You are very welcome for all of the help. Happy to do it. We need to catch up and have some coffee. You guys looking in the comments, Club Music 420 lives here in Thailand, moved here from Florida, also a vet, likes to do DJ stuff, did a lot of it at home. If you like mixed music like that, club kind of music, go check out his channel, Club Music 420. I cut it on because the music plays for a long time. I'll cut it on and play it when I'm around the house, but help a brother out. Club Music 420 could use some subscribers and some watch time. Speaking of phones, my cell is locked with a version plan. I'm thinking of maybe Verizon plan. I'm buying an unlocked phone for summer trip to swap SIM cards when I get there. If you can't get it unlocked, like a lot of times you can't get it unlocked if you're still making payments on it, that kind of stuff. If you've got a new one, many of them unlock automatically after time. So just double check that it's actually locked. I'm not doubting you, but sometimes, you think they're locked. I thought mine was locked before I moved here, and they're like, oh no, it's been unlocked since once you had it 6 months. So check into that. Yeah, phones here are cheap. You could get a little burner phone. You can do that. Okay, so you checked area low and it was only a 15-day SIM card. Yeah, so the tourist SIM cards will do that. They'll be like 15. Just check and see if they've got some other options. It shouldn't be hard to renew and keep the same number. You shouldn't have to download another SIM card. That information should be on AreaLow's website. I'm just not sure off the top of my head, if you just top up and keep going from there. All right, looks like the question queue is open. If I've missed some of yours, put it in again, because I've just scrolled past it. I'll go back to the list. Number 6 on the list, I've mentioned it a couple of times, and we've talked about Thai relationships a little bit. Goy, we met Songkran 2023 on my very first trip here. We met. Cute story. She just texted me. She's got to work in the morning, so she's not watching anymore, but she was checking y'all out. So we talk about this story. She and I talk about this story all the time. So we met. I was staying at the base in Central Pattaya because of all the Songkran and the water play and stuff, and I wanted to shoot that video. I was making stock videos of Songkran, the water festival. Sorry, the Italian hands are going. we met, and it's one of those things where of all the things that had to come together for us to connect, she doesn't live in town. She lives an hour north of Bangkok. So 2.5, 3 hours from here in a car, as opposed to 2-hour bus ride and then an hour and a half BTS and then taxi, that kind of thing. So she doesn't live here in town. So she had to be in town visiting a friend and was here for Songkran. I had to be staying there. We connected. We realized we were staying close to each other. And it's cute because you got to wonder when you're on. We met online, and wondering, is this person trying to scam me? Well, I'm thinking that, she's thinking that. So within a few messages, she's like, let's meet. Told me later, she said, I want to make sure you're real. You're not a scammer. She said, okay, well, let's meet at Bukau Market. That was kind of close to both of us. Well, I mapped it and I went, and she mapped it and she didn't map it because she was staying close to there, and she went. Texting each other, I'm here. Okay, I'm here. I'm in Amazon Coffee. Me too. Where are you? Well, it turns out, long story short, there are two Bukau markets. There's Bukau Market and there's Bukau Night Market, and they're about a mile apart. So you can guess we were in different places. But just, the biggest smiles, when we met, and the best part of the story is when we met the second time, she showed up with her college transcripts because she wanted to make it clear to me that she was not someone who was working in a bar, not someone who was in it for the money. The negative stereotype that unfortunately is prevalent. It's not as prevalent as they make it sound. She wanted to make sure I knew she was a real person. So she's showing me her college degree. She's got a 4-year degree in human resources. She works at a factory in human resources, and now is a manager at one of the factories, a new factory near her house, and where she's the head of HR, and she basically functions as the GM of the factory. So it has been a fantastic time spending time with her. And sadly, now she only gets 1 day a week off, and sometimes none, like this week, because 11/11 here is a big online sales holiday, kind of like Black Friday at home. She doesn't have any days off for a while. So Thursday, I'm going to go see her and spend time up there. And it's a lot of fun. It gets me into different parts of Thailand. We go different places. Like you see the video about going to visit Kanchanaburi. I just said that wrong. But anyway, went to the Death Railroad, that kind of stuff, going to Wat Arun. I'm traveling with her, but in many of those videos, they're from early on. And I still don't plan to show her in a lot of videos. And when we touched on comments and stuff before, I don't want to have to deal with, people tracking her down or comments about her. So she's there. It's been a fantastic time. Thai women are great. You will be treated like a king. I like to tease her because she doesn't like me in the kitchen. I like to cook and I like to learn how to cook. But when she's in the kitchen, I'll get, no, I can. I'm a Thai woman. I can. And that's her way of saying, leave me alone, get away. And she'll tell me she's shy. So I'll tease her. When we finished eating, I'll pick up my plate in her plate, like I'm going to go wash dishes, and not allowed to wash dishes. I can't make my own coffee. I don't cook. She takes care of it all. And that's after working, many times a 12-hour day. She'll leave the house 7 o'clock in the morning, be home 7 o'clock at night, still come home, still doing laundry, still cooking, cleaning, taking care, and just wanting to spend time. So Thai women are fantastic. And she's great. So anyway, she logged off before I could say that, but she can go back and watch it later. Kevin, by the way, hopefully when I get there, I'll send you an email. Hopefully I can meet up, buy a coffee. Absolutely. People do it all the time. Send me an email when you guys are around, and we'll see if we can get connected. If I'm in town, like I do what I want when I want. So sometimes I'm up and gone. Occasionally I'll have a video or something booked, or I'll have a plan to be going and doing something else. But I got a lot of free time, and it's one of those ways you make friends we were talking about earlier. Happy to help. That's, I got a lot out of watching videos when I was planning, and that's the whole reason I started this channel, was I kind of wanted to give that back. So hopefully you're getting some value out of it, and I'll keep doing it as long as it's fun. Yeah, Rusty, Koi is great. Let's see. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, guys, and that's one of the ways that keeps me from going, mind-numbingly bored and lonely. Since I keep shaking the table, we talk twice a day, regardless, right? When she gets up before she goes to work, and then we talk again, usually at night when she gets home, and then real quick, and then at bedtime we'll say goodnight. Like I said, she texted me a minute ago, said. What'd she say? Have fun. I'm going to bed. Talk to you in the morning. So yeah, it's awesome. All right, we are rapidly approaching 11 o'clock. Super late for me, and the last item on the list. So last chance to get some questions in. Anything goes, as long as it's polite. I'll try and answer it. And in the meantime, I will cover this last item. For the last final reason why I'll never move back to the U.S. other than my kids. There's nothing for me there, and I mean nothing. I don't miss anything being here. I take that back. There are a couple places, restaurants I miss going to, but there's nothing like I can't do without. And there's no reason for me to go home other than my kids. And the number one reason people say they can't move away from home, and I just did a video on this, because they don't want to be away from family. My kids are nearly grown. I mentioned a little bit ago, my oldest is 21, the youngest is 17. He'll be 18 in March, and he'll graduate high school in May. They're busy. They're busy with teenage lives, young adult lives. They're both working. They're both in school, and it won't be long before they have their own families, their own lives. They've got other things to do. They don't need me around. I used to live, 7 miles, 15 minutes away from them. Sorry. And, we would see each other occasionally. We would text more often than not. I text, call, see them on video more now than I did then. I'll be their cheap vacation destination. I mentioned the oldest is coming. He's going to stay about 6 weeks. If they want to bring their families here and stay, one of the reasons why I got a 2-bedroom house now is so I can have family and friends come by. They don't need me. The oldest one over the weekend called me late one evening because he wasn't feeling good, and just wanted to talk to Dad. Hey, let's talk about these symptoms. Am I okay? We just talk for 20, 30 minutes, and I'm accessible to them, and they know we're on exact opposite time schedules now. But I always have my ringer on, and they know that no matter what time of day or night, if they call me, I'm going to answer for them. So I'm still there for them. I can still get to them in roughly a day. And if you think about it, if you're living in the U.S. and you've got adult kids, chances are they're not living in the same town anymore, right? Their job has taken them away. Their life has taken them away. Their desire to be somewhere else, live somewhere else, has moved them. And if you need to book a plane and get to them, you'll be lucky if you could get there in 12 hours, 24 hours, just because of flight schedules and stuff. So it's not that hard for me. If I had to get home quick for one of them, I could get home in about 24 hours. I'm, fairly confident in that I could get to Savona Boom and get on a plane within a couple hours and get home within a day. But really, yes, there's nothing other than that in the U.S. that I want to go back for. Like I said, I don't really miss anything. Of course, there's, I miss being around people and folks that I knew there. But again, come visit. I've tried the U.S. I did 57 years there. Now I'm gonna spend a little time other places. Yeah, looks like folks are starting to drop off. I'll hang around for another minute, see if you've got a question, and I'm just going to summarize the 7 reasons why I can't go back to America anymore. Top of the list was cost of living. It's just too dang expensive, and I ain't going back to work, so I ain't going back to America. Quality of life, my quality of life here is much better, and it's much cheaper than it was there. Number 3 is the weather. It was a top criteria for me. It had to be warm all the time. Now I tell you, in April, it gets plain old hot around here when it's 40 some degrees Celsius, 110, 115 degrees, and humid as crap. But I like the heat, and even on those days, there's usually a breeze blowing. And if you've got, and I open both doors on the front and the back of the house here, and the windows. Most of the time I'm sitting with the doors open and just a fan blowing on me, or I'm hanging out at the pool or doing something else. But I love the weather. Number 4 was travel. Once you're here, cheap to travel so many other places, domestically, internationally, planes, trains, automobiles. You can get around easy once you get here. Number 5 was not going home because I'm living my dream in paradise here. So why would I? Number 6 is Goy. She's here. I'm not leaving that girl. I'm not moving back to the US and leaving happiness. It's not like any other relationship and treatment, I guess, that I've known in the past. So definitely worth staying for. And then last, there's nothing there for me other than my kids, right? And now they're starting to come here, and I can meet them places. We're talking about meeting up in Europe, maybe doing a med cruise at some point. I can always go home and vacation with them like I'm doing next month. But I don't have to sit there and, be around them all the time for them to be happy. They just don't need us anymore once they get to that point in life. And like I said in that other video, if your kids are telling you, if they're 30 years old, 20 some years old, and they're telling you they can't live without you, time to cut the cord. You need to live a little, and they need to learn how to live on their own, because at some point, you're just not going to be there anymore. That's the facts. So, they need to get used to it. All right, Ralph given some restaurant recommendations, new place in Pattaya. No, I hadn't heard that, but check it out sometime. All right, y'all. I think that is going to do it. I really did not plan to talk for an hour and a half. I didn't think that many of you would join or stay that long. If you're not subscribed, a little late to say it, but think about subscribing. If you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and punch that. And check out the links in the description. I've mentioned in some other videos, and I mentioned a minute ago, they are affiliate links, so they do help me out. Black Friday is coming for y'all. I know, guys, you're all doing a lot of shopping on Amazon. Even if you're here in Thailand, hit one of those Amazon links in the description and then buy all your other presents. I earn a little commission. It doesn't cost you any more, and I'd certainly appreciate it. If you got any questions, you can always shoot me an email, retiringtoasia@gmail.com, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya. Thanks for joining.